We do a lot of things fantastic with food here in the US. It's undeniable, but kebabs, yeah, could be better. Kebabs from the US often feature oversized chunks of lean and bland protein, smashed between bulky wedges of onion, sad flat pieces of bell pepper, and if you're lucky, a whole white button mushroom. So flavorful. Today we're gonna take the classic Americano kebab and do everything that we can borrowing from other cultures to make it better. Then at the end of the video, I'll compare the original OG kebab that you might be picturing right now to the one that we made and see how we did. Basically, kebab is seasoned and cooked meat, and the way that it's served depends on the country. It can be a skewer, a wrap, a sandwich, but the through line is that the meat is always the star. There's a lot to learn from the way other countries around the world whip up meat on a stick. So I've borrowed techniques from other cultures to fuse together what you might call the ultimate Frankenstein Americano kebab. Because dang it, we deserve it. We deserve a better kebab in this country. Really, I'm doing this for my 10-year-old self who was always disappointed on kebab night, right? The huge chunks of vegetables and the meat. It's just like not what I wanted. It's still not what I want. But we're gonna make it better, I promise. Let's start with the protein. Into a food processor, we're gonna go in with our red bell pepper, green bell pepper, both these have the seeds removed, yellow onion, some good old garlic, and a little bit of salt to help draw out some of that moisture. Now we're gonna pulse this up. We're gonna work this down the sides here. All right, make this a little more fine. I don't want any big chunks of veg. All right, that's looking good. Now we're just gonna pour all that veg matter into a cheesecloth lined bowl. So check this out. We're gonna take our little cloth and we are going to squeeze out the moisture. This is concentrated veg juice pretty much. And we want our vegetables to be dry so that they don't, make our meat too wet. We want it to have a little bit of moisture in there, which we'll talk about in a second, but remove most of that juice here. Don't worry, we will use this. And this is a technique that the Persian or Iranian Koobideh kebab uses. They mince up a bunch of onion and mix it into the meat so it kind of flavors that meat with the vegetables. Doing the same thing here. I don't like how when you're eating a big chunky, or OG we're gonna call it the OG kebab, you get a big bite of meat, a little bite of vegetable. You might have like just the meat, just the vegetable. This way we're trying to infuse each bite with that vegetal flavor and kind of marry the two. So we're borrowing from that kebab, and I'm sure there's plenty of other kebabs. There are so many kebabs out there from different regions that all do similar things. Some people might leave one technique out. Ultimately, we are borrowing from that original Persian kebab though, so cool. So into a bowl, we're gonna add our veg, drained, some black pep, a healthy pinch of kosher salt. This is gonna be seasoning our meat, so don't be shy. And then a secret ingredient here. So the baking soda raises the pH of the meat, which keeps the proteins from binding together tightly, which results in a juicier, more tender kebab. It also speeds up the Maillard reaction, which leads to a much crustier, darker, richer browning in the kebab, which just makes it more delicious. Secret weapon, a little bit goes a long way. I'm talking a 1/4 teaspoon per pound of meat. We're using 2 pounds of meat today, so I'm using half a teaspoon roughly. So I'm just gonna massage the salt, the pepper, and the baking soda into the vegetables, which will help kind of spread it around the meat and distribute evenly. Beautiful. It might change the color of the veg a little bit, that's fine. But look at that, that's what we're going for, this minced vegetable that's just gonna be kind of woven into our protein. So now we're gonna go in with our beef ski here. This is just ground beef. It's pretty lean as you can see, but there is fat interwoven, which is important. We're using beef today, but this can also be done with chicken, ground chicken. And I recommend using chicken thigh because it's fattier and more delicious than chicken breast. You can do a mix thereof, whatever. We're using beef today. So with a wet hand, I'm just gonna go in and start squeezing and weaving. We're basically gonna knead this vegetable mixture into the beef. All right, so at this point, we're not quite making sausage, right? We don't really care about this being super emulsified, but we want it to be somewhere in the middle of being emulsified and not being emulsified. What I mean by that is the fat smearing into the protein. Cool little trick ski here. I was gonna add some water, but why don't we just add some of this vegetable juice, tiny bit of it, just to kind of help that emulsification along, make things stickier and tackier, which is important when we're forming our kebabs later. Just remember the sausage test. If the meat sticks to your hands, it's sticky enough. Perfect. So look at that. It's not hyper emulsified. You can still see the little chunks of fat in there. That's fine. Those will render and sort of like moisten the meat, and it's not gonna leave like annoying little holes. With sausage, if you leave too much fat, it can render out leaving little holes of like hollow sausage, which is not good for that. With this, it's totally fine. So now we're gonna cover this up and we're gonna let it sit in the fridge for, you know, at least 30 minutes. You kind of want to give it time for that baking soda and the vegetables to kind of flavor the protein itself. You can totally do this ahead overnight. Matter of fact, it would probably be better. So if you have the foresight, mix your meat the night before your grill out, your cookout, and get to work the next day. But for now, we're just gonna let this rest as long as we can. In the fridge. Our kebabs need a sauce. So we're gonna make the easiest sauce ever with yogurt. We got some herbatry in the form of parsley and mint. And maybe do some chive as well. Why not? A clove of garlic. Get in there. A little bit of lemon juice. Punchy. Black pepper. Pinch of kosher. A little drizzle of olive oil. Now we mix. Just gonna mix that all around, and this is the type of thing that you kind of do want to let sit for, you know, again, at least like half an hour, kind of let those flavors meld. But yeah, very simple, easy yogurt sauce. Lots of different cultures have this, and I keep saying that because it's true. I can't really name them all right now, but you know, you got Sikh kebabs in India. You have like literally 15 different kebabs in the Middle East. This might be looking to you kind of like tzatziki, which is the Greek sauce often served with souvlaki, you know, sans cucumber. But yeah, you get some yogurt and some herbs, salt, pepper, lemon juice, and you can make yourself a very simple, basic yogurt sauce that is bright and tangy and zippy and goes great with grilled food. So that's kind of what this is. Very simple. How do you make grilled food tastier, juicier, and better looking? You baste it with something. So in our case, we're gonna use this harvested vegetable liquid that is already quite fresh and aromatic to make a very simple basting liquor, you can call it. All right, medium heat, high heat. We're gonna add in our veggie juice, the jus of the veg, a pinch of kosher to season it, and a teensy little pinch of the God particle. MSG. Little umami in there. And then all we do is add in some butter. Now we have a punchy, pungent vegetal infusion to baste our kebabs with. Okay, our meat has been sitting and developing flavor. Now we gotta put them on skewers, and for the skewers I have these guys here. You'll notice with the rounder wooden skewers, or even if they're made from metal, you're not really gonna be able to do what I'm about to show you very easily. It's definitely possible, I've done it, but these horizontal skewers are amazing. They're very durable. They come in a cute little carrying case and stuff. Highly recommend picking up a set of these if you love to grill. I'll leave a link in the description for you. But again, you could totally do this with wooden skewers as well. It just might be a little trickier. So I'm gonna wet my hand a little agua here. I'm just gonna grab a nice little meat pinch, kind of form it into a nice little, what do you call that? What are those squeeze toys called where you squeeze them and like the eyes pop out? You know what I'm talking about? So onto the skewer, and I'm aiming to kind of be like on this top half here. You'll see why outside later, but I like to keep things kind of towards the top. So we have this shape on our skewer. I'm gonna take my hand here and I'm going to use my thumb to kind of shape the meat into these little sections. Each individual little piece right here is a bite's worth, right? So I think it's kind of cool. You kind of know whether you're cutting it or just eating it. You can easily portion it out with your, kind of like just by eyeballing it. So that's cool. Beautiful. There's one. And you just kind of rinse and repeat with the rest of your meats. I want it to be known, I'm not anti-vegetables on the grill, so we're gonna skewer up some delicious peps here. I got some just shishito, guys. Check that out. Just some nice peps to get charred up on the grill. And we got some Roma tomatoes. Here's the thing, sometimes when it's not tomato season, aka not summer, which it's not quite summer here, these are hard. On the grill, that's actually not such a bad thing. Jeez. So we're just gonna take our tomatoes here and skewer them up. They're juicy. Love that. We're not anti-grilled veg, you know? We got our vegetables here ready to go over the coals. Speaking of coals, today we're grilling on my trusty old Weber kettle grill. This is a super popular grill if you're in the States, and if you own a charcoal grill, there's a 70.3% repeating chance that you got one of these. The challenge here is that these larger kebab skewers are often too big for these grill grates. But never fear, I got a trick for you. Many grates nowadays have these flippable ends, which allows you to easier manipulate the coals. So if you flip this thing up, the meat, which should be more towards the middle of your skewer, will be able to sit right above the middle of the grill with the handle staying nice and cool hanging off the end. Once your fire is ripping, lay on the skewers, and since they aren't round sticks, they're not going to move around on you, which is another perk of this skewer type that I forgot to mention earlier. Okay, so at first our job is to set the meat by flipping it every 30 seconds or so. We want to set that meat until it firms up and begins to solidify, thereby strengthening our kebabs so that gravity doesn't pull them off into the pit of doom. There are a number of ways to avoid sacrificing your kebabs to the coals. One way is to ensure that the meat is secured and squeezed onto the skewer thoroughly. This is really a technique thing, and you can practice this every time you make them. Remember, less is oftentimes more, so be patient, shape those extra skewers if you need them. The less meat you have on it, the less you're likely to end up like this. Yeah, obese skewers will not make it to the next level. You worked hard to make these things, so don't be like me and overdo it. Let this be a lesson to ye. Another way to make sure your skewers don't sink is to chill these shaped kebabs down in the fridge before you grill. This way, the meat is going to be tighter when you first set it over the fire. It's going to set once it begins to cook, and your life is going to be a lot easier. So once the meat is set, you can begin basting with the vegetable butter juice. This is a feel thing. I like to brush and drip the basting juice on every minute or so as I turn kinda. Over time, the kebabs will brown up super nicely with help from the sugars in the veg water and the butter solids. Once the kebabs are cooked, you can just go ahead and do the same thing with the vegetables. They get a butter shower too, don't leave them out. Lastly, I'm just gonna cook off some of these OG kebabs that I picked up from my local grocery store. The best way to do this, due to lack in uniformity and different cooking times on the ingredients on each single skewer, is to sort of hit it hard and fast over direct heat, give it that char, you know? Then move them to a sort of a cool zone and finish them off low and slow. Yeah, every piece on this skewer is either gonna be cooked over or under. It's just a fact of life with this style of kebab. Okay, kebabs completo. Let's go inside and check these out. All right, we have our 2 kebab plates here. Let's explain this one first because there's a little more going on. So we have our awesome kebabs, a little bit of dill rice, right? This is just basmati with some dill in it. A little hot sauce, our yogurt sauce, the charred peppers and tomatoes, and some pickly things. We got these little cute little gherkins, some radishes, actually from my mom's garden, some onion, all that. That is a good and fine and delicious way, although not very Americano, to eat your kebabs. Then for the Americano, it's a little more bare bones here. We have our charry vegetables, our meat that's hopefully pretty well cooked. You know, you can't really control the different cook times because everything's just on a skewer. As far as sides go, you already know the vibe. Potato salad, corn, some other barbecue stuff. Chips. Classic cookout food. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I just don't have it right now, but you understand how to eat these. Let's give a little taste test. Just go right into one of our bites here. Well, I like this one more, kind of. I want to do that one. Nice. That interwoven magica. I'm going to go straight up first. Can you taste the vegetables? Definitely. Is it like biting into a whole massive vegetable? Absolutely not. This is definitely more meat than it is vegetable, but that's how we wanted it. We're flavoring our protein with the vegetables instead of eating them separately. So wish me luck here. Every piece is just a little too big. Burnt skewers and stuff, come on. All right, I think I'm gonna just have to, this is what I mean, like how do you even eat these? Like, I'm not just like saying this to like drive home the point in the video. You saw that. It's hard to cook these big chunks of beef. First off, they're all a little misshapen, a little under or oversized. And so you can't cook them all at the same rate. And the vegetables burn a little bit, which is fine. I actually like charred vegetables. Like the veggies are good. It's just like when I hear kebab and I see this, I don't know. It doesn't make me that randy. This gets me randy because you have all that protein. You have your vegetables on the side if you want them, right? You take a bite of that, the sweet pepper, maybe a little bit of, juicy as heck tomato. But then the sauce, man, that yogi in the hot. Is it a little extra work? Yes. I think it's worth it. It's a fun, special way to kind of like spice up your kebab night. Next time you have your friends or family over, they'll be like, what are these? And you can tell them. Try it. Trust me, try it. This is a good way to serve large format if you have many guests, but I want to show you my favorite way to enjoy kebab. Isn't that cute? Yeah, it's a little kebab wrap thing. You gotta have the good flatbread. Oh, another thing, you're serving this for a group, just put flatbreads out there. Look at all this stuff here. Just put this all type stuff on the table. You got your pickles, your crunchiness, your sauces, that bright veggie, like watery crunch. Dude, chicken would be really good too. And a little stickier, so you might have a little less problems on the grill. Oh yeah. Now, is this a little more work? Sure. But I think that little extra time you're gonna spend blitzing and draining the vegetables is well worth it. It's a fun and welcome new surprise when you tell people to come over for grilling. What are you grilling? Kebabs. They think of the original. Then you hit them with this. All of a sudden, you're the coolest bloke on the block or in the apartment courtyard. Oh, stop. I'm so full. Look at that, though. Come on now. Also, if you do have a favorite kind of kebab, comment below. We're having a kebab talk, all about kebabs. There's many different kinds, so let us know your favorite. Who knows, man? Maybe, just maybe, we might do an international kebab video / series. I don't know. Just a thought. If you like that idea, let us know. TY, so much for watching until the end here. If you're a kebab king or queen and you enjoyed the video, give it a like, helps us out, shows our videos to more people. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Best way to support us is over on the Patreon, aka the grocery fund. Helps us put the sauce on the kebab, fire up the grill, all the things. We'd really appreciate your help if you could, but if not, that's totally all good too. Come and say what up on Discord. We're cooling, we're chatting. Got a lot of fun, talkative folks over there talking about all things food and cooking. So if you'd like to meet some like-minded individuals, come on in, introduce yourself. That's all I got for today. So until next we meet. See ya.